I stepped into the gala hall, my heels clicking softly on the polished floor, excitement fluttering in my chest. Adrian's going to love this news, I whispered to myself, clutching the envelope with the promotion letter. I scanned the crowd for him, imagining his smile, the proud look in his eyes. Then I heard it, laughter. Familiar, soft, and insidious. I turned slowly and froze. There, in the corner by the velvet drapes, were Adrian and Cassandra. My sister. My fiancé. My blood ran cold. You're unbelievable, Cassandra said, her voice dripping amusement. I can't believe how easy this is. Adrian chuckled, leaning closer. You make me feel alive, Cass. Honestly, I didn't know what I was missing until now. My stomach dropped, my knees threatening to buckle. I couldn't breathe. I shouldn't have heard it. This wasn't happening. Adrian. I started, my voice trembling. What are you doing? He spun toward me, guilt flashing in his eyes. It's not what it looks like. Cassandra smirked, cutting him off. Oh honey, it's exactly what it looks like. She's going to be shocked, and I love it. Shock rooted me to the spot. Cassandra, how? Why would you? You should have seen your face, she said, clearly delighted. Priceless. Adrian swallowed, stammering. I didn't mean for you to hear. Hear? I snapped, the first stab of anger slicing through the numbness. I overheard every word. Every lie. How long have you been doing this? Cassandra laughed, a cruel tinkling sound. Long enough to know I'm winning. And you? You're so predictable. My fists clenched, but I couldn't stay. My vision blurred with tears, my chest tightening with betrayal. I spun on my heel and ran, ignoring the whispers around me. I made it outside, the cool night air hitting my face, sharp and grounding. My phone trembled in my hands as I dialed Lauren. Lauren. Oh God, I can't. My voice cracked and I let the sobs come. Shua, breathe, okay? I'm here. Tell me what happened, she soothed. Her calm, steady tone anchored me as my heart shattered. Cassandra, Adrian, Words failed me, tears dripping freely. It's okay, Lauren said gently. I've got you. Just tell me slowly. They're together. My sister and Adrian. They're laughing about me, Lauren. Laughing. I collapsed onto the steps outside, gripping my phone, my mind reeling. Every memory of trust, every laugh with Adrian, every shared secret with Cassandra. They felt poisoned. Listen, Lauren said softly. I know it hurts. But listen to me, you didn't do anything wrong. This was calculated. She wanted to hurt you. He chose her. I swallowed the lump in my throat, staring at the dark street, heart pounding. Hollow rage and despair collided inside me. But amid the pain, a quiet fire sparked. I would not stay broken. Not tonight. Not ever. I didn't sleep that night. My mind replayed every word, every laugh from the gala, every look Cassandra and Adrian exchanged. When morning came, I barely had the strength to get out of bed. My phone buzzed. It was a message from Cassandra. I ignored it, but the tension made my hands shake. Later, she appeared at my door, hair perfectly styled, smile carefully casual. We need to talk, she said, her voice too sweet, too calm. I crossed my arms, leaning against the wall. Talk? About what, Cass? About how you and Adrian decided to betray me. Her eyes flickered, almost hesitant. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. I never wanted to hurt you. I love you as my sister. I laughed bitterly, a sound that felt hollow even to me. Love me? You call this love? Laughing with him while he promised me forever? Do you even hear yourself? Cassandra's lips pressed together, smirk curling slightly. I know it looks bad, but you have to understand, he and I, we connect in ways you never did. My blood boiled. Connect? You're enjoying this. I can see it in your eyes. You planned every second of my pain, and now you're pretending it's an accident. I didn't plan to hurt you like this, she said softly, but the gleam in her eyes betrayed her. The anger I had tried to suppress surged. Don't lie to me. Don't you dare act innocent. You've ruined everything, my engagement, my trust, my family. Everything I believed in, you destroyed. Before she could answer, Adrian arrived, shoulders hunched, hands raised in a gesture of surrender. I'm sorry, he said, voice cracking. I never meant for this to happen. Save it, I snapped. Every word you say is poison. I don't want to hear it. You chose her. You both chose destruction over honesty. Adrian's face fell. I still care about you. Please just let me explain. I don't want your explanations. I shouted. Tears stung my eyes, rage coiling tight in my chest. I don't want anything from you. Do you even realize what you've done? How much you've broken me? Cassandra stepped closer, her smirk widening. Oh, I know exactly what I've done. And watching you unravel, well, it's satisfying. I recoiled as if she'd struck me. You're cruel, I whispered, voice trembling. I trusted you, and you betrayed me with a smile on your face. They said nothing more. I turned sharply and stormed out, the air heavy in my lungs. Outside, I sank onto the cold steps, trembling. My hands covered my face, tears falling freely. Alone, I whispered to the night. I will not stay broken. My voice was hoarse but firm. I didn't know how I would rebuild, how I would take my life back. But something inside me refused to let them win. The anger, the hurt, the betrayal, they would not define me. I wake to the sound of my alarm, but it's just noise. Days and nights have blended into one endless ache. I skip breakfast again. At work, I stare at emails like they're meaningless scribbles. The laughter in my apartment feels distant, almost wrong. My phone buzzes. Lauren. Hey, have you eaten today? She texts. I type back. I'm fine. Minutes later, she calls. Stop lying to me. You need help. Please just talk to someone. I don't need. My voice falters. Yes, you do, she interrupts gently. Start therapy. I'll go with you if you want. I sigh, knowing she's right. That afternoon, I sit in Dr. Mason's office, the walls neutral, the chair soft under me. He smiles calm. Tell me what's going on, he says. I bite my lip. I feel worthless. Like I've failed at everything. Adrian, Cassandra, they broke me. Broken doesn't mean defeated, he says. But you need to stop letting them define your worth. Start with yourself. I can't, I whisper. Every time I think I'm moving, I see their faces, hear their words. I feel trapped in their betrayal. Dr. Mason nods. Acknowledging that pain is the first step. What would you do if you weren't trapped? I'd breathe. I'd live. I'd be me again. I admit, voice shaking. Later, Adrian shows up at my apartment. I freeze when I see him through the peephole. He knocks. I just want to talk, he says. I open the door, keeping my distance. Talk. I'm sorry, he begins, eyes pleading. I never meant. I cut in. You chose her. You chose betrayal. And you think saying sorry fixes that. It's not all my fault, he says, voice rising. You pushed me, made me feel unappreciated. I didn't want this to hurt you. I swallow hard, anger flaring. You make me out to be the villain? After everything you did. Adrian hesitates, then leaves without another word. I lock the door, leaning against it, trembling. A part of me shatters, but beneath it, something small glimmers. That night, Lauren texts again. You okay? I type slowly, deliberately. I'm scared, but I'm starting to realize I can't let them control me anymore. I have to take my life back. Sitting on my bed, I close my eyes. The tears come, but they don't feel like surrender. They feel like the first brushstrokes of reclaiming myself. For the first time since the betrayal, I imagine waking up for me. Not for Adrian, not for Cassandra, not even for Lauren, but for me. I stare at my reflection in the bathroom mirror. The same face, the same eyes, but something inside feels different. I won't crumble today. Not again. Dr. Mason's words echo in my mind. Cassandra thrives on your silence. Speak your truth, even in small ways. I pick up my phone. Another message from Cassandra. You're pathetic, you know? I type back nothing. Instead, I set the phone down, feeling the tiniest spark of control. At work, I tackle my projects with precision. Every spreadsheet, every report, every email, I do it better than ever. Mr. Collins notices. Impressive work, really. Keep this up, he says. I nod, smiling faintly. Thank you. Later, Lauren calls. Walk with me, she asks. I slip into my shoes. Sure. I need it. We wander through the park, leaves crunching under our feet. Lauren falls silent for a moment. You seem calmer, she observes. I'm trying, I admit. It's hard. But I'm done letting them steal my peace. You deserve this, she says softly. You've been through hell, and you're still standing. I've realized something today. I say, watching the streetlights blur as we walk. Cassandra wanted me broken. Adrian chose her over me. But silence, fear, that's what feeds them. I won't feed them anymore. Lauren smiles, squeezing my hand. Exactly. This is your fight, not theirs. At home, I ignore another string of messages. Cassandra's words, Adrian's excuses, they bounce off me like water on glass. I start making plans for myself. Learning a new skill, reconnecting with old friends, finishing things I left behind. The apartment feels lighter somehow. I breathe deeper, finally noticing the quiet. The next day, I arrive at work with my shoulders back, my head held high. My team notices my energy shift. You seem different, says Clara, one of my coworkers. I'm just focusing on what matters, I reply calmly, letting my words land without needing approval. By evening, Lauren texts. Proud of you. Really proud. I smile at my phone. Thanks, Lauren. I needed to hear that. Sitting on my balcony later, I watch the city lights. I realize this is the first time in weeks I feel a sense of ownership over my life. I'm not plotting revenge, not yet, but I am reclaiming what's mine. My time, my focus, my peace. The darkness of betrayal hasn't disappeared, but I can see the path through it. And for the first time, I feel the power of choice in my hands. I won't just survive this, I will rise from it. One step, one decision at a time. And nothing Cassandra or Adrian can do will take that from me. I sip my coffee quietly, scrolling through the office chatter when a coworker whispers, "Did you hear about Cassandra and Adrian?" I raise an eyebrow. What about them? They're fighting. Already. Over everything, she murmurs, glancing around nervously. I can't help a small private smile. Good. I've stepped out of that storm. Later, my phone buzzes. Adrian. I stare at his name. My thumb hovers over the screen. Call me back. I delete it instead. One small choice and it feels like I've reclaimed an inch of my life. Another message pops up. Cassandra. You think you're winning? Think again. I laugh aloud, startling myself. Not the choking, panicked laugh I've had before. A real laugh. A laugh that tastes of freedom. Lauren texts. Careful. Don't let them get under your skin. I type back. I'm done letting them control me. At work, I focus on my project. Every chart, every email, every presentation. It's mine to shape. I feel control where before there was chaos. During lunch, Mia slides into the booth across from me. You seem lighter, she says, studying me carefully. I am, I admit. For the first time, I'm not waiting for them to mess everything up. I'm just me. Mia grins. Finally. About time. Later, my phone buzzes again. Another message from Cassandra. You'll regret ignoring us. You're weak. I toss the phone onto my desk. Not today, I murmur. A moment later, Adrian calls. I watch the screen. I could answer, I could defend myself, but I don't. Silence becomes my shield. By evening, I sit on the balcony with a notebook. I write down plans, little goals, tiny victories. Each line feels like a brick in the wall I'm building between their chaos and me. Cassandra's texts continue, but they feel hollow. Adrian's calls are desperate echoes. I let them fade into background noise. Lauren calls. So, are you laughing at them yet? I am, I admit, smiling wide enough that she can hear it through the line. For the first time, it's not a bitter laugh. It's relief, peace, liberation. Good. You deserve it, she says softly. I stare at the city lights. They shimmer like my new boundaries, fragile, yes, but mine. No more being pulled into their drama. No more reacting to their whims. A quiet thrill rises in me. I realize something crucial. I'm no longer their victim. I'm my own person, stepping away from the lies, the manipulation, and the betrayal. And it feels incredible. Tonight I don't cry. I don't shake. I don't feel the weight of loss. I feel the first real sparks of liberation, tiny but powerful. And for the first time in a long time, I am free. I settle into my desk, coffee in hand, and notice a stack of reports waiting. Work has been different lately. Focused. Clear. No longer clouded by their drama. Elise appears beside me, hesitant. Can I talk to you? I look up. Of course. What's on your mind? She glances around, lowering her voice. It's Cassandra and Adrian. People are noticing. Their fights, the way he throws deadlines, the way she manipulates everyone. It's messy. I nod, trying to keep my expression neutral. And you're telling me this because? Because you've handled it so differently. Calm. Focused. I wanted to say I admire that. I feel a faint smile. Thanks. Honestly, I'm not responsible for their choices. I stopped carrying that weight. Elise hesitates, then leans closer. It's just seeing them unravel. I can't help but feel it's karmic. I chuckle softly. I'm not counting on karma to fix things, Elise, but it's satisfying to see the consequences match the actions. Just then my phone buzzes. Adrian. I stare at it for a moment before silencing the call. Let him deal with the chaos he created. Later, Dr. Mason's voice echoes in my mind from our last session. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing peace over pain. I whisper it to myself. Choose peace. Every day. By mid-afternoon, Elise returns with a folder. I wanted you to see this, she says, handing it over. Cassandra missed a major presentation. And Adrian, well, he messed up the client report. Big time. People are noticing. I skim through the documents, feeling a calm satisfaction rather than glee. Looks like they're learning the hard way. They are, Elise agrees. And you? You're thriving. Your work, your composure. It's inspiring. I shrug lightly. It's just me focusing on what matters. I'm not letting them steal my energy anymore. Elise smiles. Good. You deserve it. Throughout the day, I notice colleagues who were once distant now approaching me with questions, seeking guidance. I answer patiently, offering insight. With every interaction, I feel my confidence returning, rebuilding like brick by brick. During a brief coffee break, Mia texts, "Seeing you calm, strong, it's amazing. They can't touch you now." I type back quickly. Feels good. Free at last. By evening, I stand by my office window, city lights sparkling. Cassandra and Adrian's mistakes are no longer my concern. I realize something vital. Letting go doesn't make me weak. It makes me strong. The small victories, meeting deadlines, earning respect, reclaiming my calm, compound. Karma isn't a force I summon. It's life reflecting truth. And I am finally ready to enjoy the balance it brings. For the first time in months, I feel whole. I breathe deeply, smiling at the city below. Their chaos no longer dictates my days. My life, my choices, my peace, they are mine. I was heading toward the elevator when Cassandra appeared, arms crossed, a smirk plastered on her face. "So this is how you think you're going to rise above us?" she sneered. I stopped, taking a slow breath. "Cassandra, what exactly do you mean?" "You know exactly what I mean," she shot back. "Scheming, manipulating, trying to make yourself look better while we're here." I tilted my head slightly, keeping my tone calm. "I'm not scheming. I'm living my life." Her eyes narrowed, but she pressed on. "Don't act innocent. Everyone can see what you're doing behind our backs." I let a quiet laugh escape me. "No, Cassandra. They see me being me. That's the difference." Adrian shuffled beside her, looking uncomfortable. "Maybe we should just. Maybe you should stay out of this," I interrupted gently, my gaze fixed on him for a moment. "I'm done arguing." Cassandra blinked, clearly not expecting my composure. "Done? You think you can just walk away after everything?" I shook my head slowly. "I don't think. I know. And yes, I can." She opened her mouth again, but I didn't give her the chance. "Your words don't control me anymore. That's all you need to understand." A hush fell over the hallway. Colleagues who had paused to watch whispered quietly, eyes darting between us. I could feel the shift. The power was no longer theirs to wield. Cassandra's smirk faltered, replaced by something sharp, unsure. Adrian looked away, his confidence nowhere to be found. And me? I felt a warmth spread through me, a lightness I hadn't known in months. I turned, walking toward the elevator, heels clicking against the floor. Every step felt purposeful, every breath steady. This was my ground now, my choice, my peace. Later, Lauren and I sat at our usual coffee spot, a quiet corner where no one could interrupt. She stirred her latte, watching me with a small, knowing smile. "You were amazing today," she said softly. I let myself smile, truly smile, for the first time in weeks. It felt good. Scary but good. You were calm, strong, completely untouchable. I laughed, leaning back in the chair. Untouchable. I like that. Lauren tilted her head, smiling warmly. You've come a long way. You're not just surviving anymore. You're standing tall. I nodded, sipping my coffee, letting the warmth fill me. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the late nights crying. It all felt distant now, like a fog lifting. I'm not her, Lauren. I'm not him. I'm me. And I'm stronger than I've ever been. She reached across the table, squeezing my hand. And don't you forget it. I watched the sunlight glint off the window, feeling clear and unshakable. The past no longer had a hold on me. I had power. I had peace. I had myself. For the first time in a long time, I felt unstoppable. The knock on my door made my stomach twist. I opened it to see Adrian standing there, his eyes pleading, hands slightly raised like he was trying not to scare me. I need to talk, he said, voice tight. Please, just a moment. I let out a short breath. Adrian, I've already said enough. There's nothing left to discuss. He stepped closer, shaking his head. No, you don't understand. I love you. I made a mistake. Stop, I said firmly, cutting him off. Your mistakes aren't mine to fix. I'm done listening to excuses. He faltered, confusion and desperation mixing in his expression. But I can't lose you. I can't. I'm not yours to lose, I replied, voice steady. I'm choosing myself now. Adrian blinked, as if he hadn't expected me to speak with certainty. Choosing yourself? Yes. I'm done being manipulated, being hurt, being second to your whims. I said, feeling strength in each word. I deserve better, and I'm taking it. He ran a hand over his face, muttering something that sounded like regret. I never meant for any of this. I know you didn't care about the meaning, Adrian. You cared about what you wanted. That's the truth, I said, my voice calm but sharp. And I won't accept it anymore. He stared at me, searching my eyes, realizing finally that I wasn't wavering. He turned slowly, not saying another word, and left. The click of the door echoed like a small victory. I sank onto the couch, tears sliding silently down my cheeks. Years of betrayal, disappointment, and heartbreak seemed to melt in that moment. I cried for the person I had been, for the trust one had misplaced, for the pain I had carried too long. A soft knock brought Lauren in, and she wrapped me in a warm embrace. It's okay, she whispered. You did the right thing. I leaned into her, letting her strength ground me. It feels lighter somehow, I murmured, sniffing. Like I can finally breathe. Lauren smiled, rubbing my back gently. You're free. And you're strong. You chose yourself when it mattered most. Later, I met with Dr. Mason at our session. He looked at me with quiet approval. Self-respect is victory, he said. You didn't just walk away. You reclaimed yourself. I nodded, feeling the truth in his words. It's empowering, I admitted, a small smile forming. I didn't think I could feel alive again, but I do. You deserve it, he said simply. Don't let anyone make you forget. Walking home afterward, the city lights glimmered around me. I inhaled deeply, savoring the crisp air. For the first time in months, I felt alive. Free. Unchained. I had been broken, but now I was standing tall. No one's lies, no one's selfishness could define me anymore. I had chosen myself. And that choice, my choice, was everything. The office buzzed with energy, but today it felt different. People were looking at me, nodding with recognition instead of dismissive glances. Sarah, this report is amazing, Mr. Rowan said, leaning over my desk. You handled that project flawlessly. I smiled, keeping my tone professional. Thank you, sir. I wanted to ensure everything was precise. You've outdone yourself, he continued. I'm proud of your growth. I felt a small warmth inside me, the kind that had nothing to do with approval from Cassandra or Adrian. I appreciate that, I said softly. Grace, a junior coworker, hovered nearby, fidgeting slightly. Sarah, can I speak to you for a minute? I gestured for her to sit. Of course. What's on your mind? She hesitated, then whispered. I just wanted to say you inspire me. Seeing how you handle challenges, your confidence. It makes me want to be better. My chest tightened, a mix of surprise and pride. You really mean that? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Yes, she nodded, eyes wide. I've never seen someone recover from betrayal and still rise like you have. It's incredible. I laughed softly, a genuine sound that felt foreign but good. Thank you, Grace. That means more than you realize. Later, my phone buzzed. Adrian. I stared at the screen, thumb hovering over the message. Hi. I want to talk. Can we meet? I typed carefully, each word deliberate. I'm moving forward. I hope you do too. Goodbye. No reply came, and I didn't expect one. Cassandra's name flashed next in a message, sharp and biting. You think you're better than me? You'll see. I scrolled past without responding. For the first time, ignoring her didn't sting. I felt untouchable, as if their attempts to hurt me had no power left. At lunch, Grace joined me. You really didn't reply? She asked, eyes wide. No, I said, smiling. I have no reason to. I'm not their audience anymore. She nodded, admiration clear. I wish I could be that strong. You can be, I said softly. It's not about revenge or proving anything. It's about knowing your worth and refusing to let anyone take it away. Her face brightened. I want to learn from you. I chuckled, feeling lighter than I had in months. Then start by believing in yourself. Back at my desk, I looked out the window at the city skyline, sunlight glinting off the buildings. I had endured betrayal, heartbreak, and manipulation. Yet here I was, unbroken, unshaken, and rising. No one could define me now, not Adrian, not Cassandra, not the past. I'm capable, I whispered to myself. Confident. Independent. And this is just the beginning. Grace smiled across the room, mirroring my energy, and for the first time, I realized the world could finally see the woman I had always been beneath the pain. The office was unusually quiet this morning, the kind of silence that hinted something had shifted. I overheard hushed conversations about Cassandra and Adrian's latest argument, their voices carrying disappointment and judgment. Did you hear? Adrian lost the client pitch because of Cassandra's interference, Elise whispered as I passed. I kept my face neutral, letting the words wash over me. Inside, a quiet satisfaction stirred. Not my problem anymore, I thought, stepping past the whispers. Mr. Rowan appeared in my doorway, smiling warmly. Sarah, do you have a minute? Of course, sir, I replied, trying not to show the flutter of anticipation. I've been reviewing your work on the project, he began, leaning against the frame. Your leadership, focus, and perseverance have been exceptional. I'd like you to take lead on the next major project. Your strategy, your team. My eyes widened slightly. Me? I thank you, sir. I won't let you down. I know you won't, he said, and for a moment, I felt pride that had nothing to do with anyone else's approval. Later, Lauren met me for coffee. So leading the big project? That's huge, she said, her eyes sparkling. I know, I said, laughing. Feels like all the chaos finally cleared out, and now there's space to breathe, to grow. Lauren tilted her head, teasing gently. You sound happy. Like yourself again. I smiled, stirring my coffee. I am. I'm not tangled in their drama anymore. I get to focus on me, my goals, my life. She nodded, sipping her drink. I've missed this version of you. The one who doesn't crumble at the slightest chaos. I laughed, feeling light. Turns out, it's freeing to stop caring about their opinions. Later that evening, Noah and I walked along the quiet street by the park. His presence was calm, steady, grounding. Big day? He asked, glancing at me. Yes, I said. I got the leadership role. Finally, recognition for my efforts and my perseverance. That's amazing, Sarah, he said sincerely. You deserve every bit of it. I looked at him, appreciating the warmth in his voice, the absence of expectation or judgment. Thank you, Noah. It's comforting to have someone who just supports me. He smiled gently. I'm glad. You've earned this peace, Sarah. I breathed in the night air, feeling the tension in my shoulders dissolve. I never thought I'd feel hope again, let alone joy. You've rebuilt yourself, he said softly. This is just the beginning. I nodded, feeling a surge of anticipation. Yes, this is the start of everything I've been working toward. No one can take it from me. The city lights reflected on the pavement, glimmering like possibilities. For the first time in months, I didn't feel anger, grief, or betrayal. I felt freedom, real profound freedom. And to think, I whispered to myself, all it took was choosing myself, refusing to be a victim. Lauren's laughter, Noah's support, Mr. Rowan's trust. They all reminded me that my life was mine again. Every step forward was mine, untainted by their interference. I smiled, feeling a warmth I hadn't allowed myself in a long time. The future wasn't just something to survive. It was something to embrace. My phone buzzed while I was finishing lunch. Cassandra's name flashed on the screen. I paused, heart tightening slightly, then opened the message. I'm sorry, truly. I never meant to hurt you this way, it read. I stared at it, feeling a mixture of old pain and new clarity. I typed carefully, letting calm guide me. I hear you, Cassandra. I accept your apology, but I need space. I'm choosing my peace. A moment later, she replied. I understand. I needed you to know. I closed the app, taking a deep breath. For the first time, I felt the weight of her betrayal loosen slightly, not because I excused it, but because I refused to let it control me. Later that evening, Adrian showed up at my door, an anxious expression on his face. Sarah, wait, please let me explain. I didn't mean any of it, he said, his voice trembling. I crossed my arms, keeping my tone steady. Adrian, there's nothing to explain. Your choices hurt me. You hurt me intentionally. I still love you. I made a mistake. I can fix this, he pleaded, stepping closer. I shook my head, feeling the resolve I had built solidify. I am not the person you can manipulate anymore. I've chosen myself. You need to leave. His shoulders slumped. You'll regret this. You don't understand what you're giving up. I met his gaze without flinching. I understand perfectly. I'm choosing my life, my happiness, and I will not be dragged back into pain. Adrian stood there for a moment, defeated, then nodded slowly. I see. I'm sorry, Sarah. Truly. I closed the door gently behind him, feeling a calm I hadn't thought possible. The air was lighter now, free of tension and fear. Later, I sat on my balcony, phone in hand, and typed a message to Noah. Thank you for being steady, for not letting me fall back into old patterns. I don't know what I would have done without you. A few seconds later, his reply came, always here. Proud of you. You've earned this peace. I leaned back in my chair, letting the evening breeze brush against my face. The chaos that had consumed my life, the lies, the manipulation, the betrayal, felt like a story that belonged to yesterday. I did this, I whispered to myself. I survived. I reclaimed myself. My phone buzzed again, a small notification, but I ignored it. Nothing could disturb this moment of clarity. I was in control of my story now, and it was mine alone. I realized I didn't need to harbor anger or resentment to be free. Forgiveness didn't mean opening the door again. It meant releasing the chains I'd been carrying. I smiled softly, a warmth spreading through me that I hadn't felt in years. The past had its place, but it no longer dictated my future. Tonight I felt lighter, stronger, and finally whole. I was done surviving. Now I was thriving. I sat across from Dr. Mason, a cup of tea warming my hands. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I feel proud of myself, I admitted, watching her smile. You should be, Sarah. You've done the work, faced the pain, and reclaimed your life, she said gently. Lauren leaned back in her chair, grinning. I've watched you grow from the sidelines, but even I'm impressed. Look at you, strong, confident, and finally free. I laughed softly, shaking my head. It didn't happen overnight. I still have moments of doubt, but I feel lighter somehow. You've rebuilt yourself on your own terms, Dr. Mason said. That's the most important part. You've chosen yourself. That evening, I walked home through the quiet streets, phone buzzing in my pocket. It was Noah. Hey, you free to talk? I smiled, typing back quickly. Yeah, want to meet at the park? When I arrived, he was leaning against the railing, hands in his pockets, eyes warm. Hey, he said softly. Hey, I replied, my heart skipping. I realized I wasn't afraid anymore. He gestured toward the path. Can we just walk? Talk. I nodded, falling into step beside him. I'd like that. Noah glanced at me, then asked gently, how do you feel about us? I took a deep breath. Honestly, I'm scared, but I want to try. I don't want fear controlling me anymore. He smiled, relief evident. We'll go at your pace. No pressure, no rush. I felt warmth spread through me. A quiet, steady kind of happiness. I think I can do that. We walked in silence for a while, enjoying the soft hum of the evening. The city felt alive yet calm, like it had paused just for us. Later I returned home, greeted by the scent of candles and quiet music. I sank into my favorite chair, reflecting on how far I'd come. Work no longer felt like a burden, friendships no longer a test, and solitude felt peaceful, not lonely. I picked up my journal, jotting down small victories. I ignored manipulative texts today. I finished that project without doubt. I smiled without thinking of them. I feel proud. A knock on the door startled me. It was Lauren, carrying 2 mugs of cocoa. Celebrating small wins? She teased. Absolutely, I said, smiling. I want to remember how far I've come, even on ordinary days. She handed me a mug, eyes soft. You've transformed, Sarah. From the ashes of betrayal, you've built something beautiful, your life. I raised my mug to her. To resilience, courage, and choosing love, the kind I've earned. She clinked her mug with mine. To the future in your hands. Sipping slowly, I realized she was right. My past had shaped me, but it didn't define me. Every step I'd taken, every tear I'd shed, every moment of clarity had led me here. For the first time, I felt truly hopeful. The future wasn't scary anymore, it was mine. I stood in Mr. Rowan's office, shaking slightly as he handed me the project files. Sarah, I've seen your dedication. I want you to lead this. It's a big responsibility, but I trust you completely. I thank you, I said, my voice steady despite the flutter in my chest. I won't let you down. He smiled warmly. I know you won't. You've earned this. Walking out, I felt a rush of accomplishment. Every sleepless night, every tear, every moment I doubted myself had led here. Cassandra and Adrian's voices, their lies and manipulations, felt distant, powerless. My phone buzzed. It was Noah. Sunset at the park? I replied instantly, yes, I'll be there. The park was calm, the horizon painted in gold and pink. Noah stood waiting, hands in his pockets, eyes bright. Hey, he said softly. Hey, I replied, feeling a peace I hadn't known in years. We walked side by side, words flowing easily. I'm proud of you, he said after a while. I've watched you take back everything they tried to steal. You're incredible. I smiled, squeezing his hand. It wasn't easy, but I realized I can't let anyone else's choices define me. He nodded, fingers lacing with mine. And now you're the woman you've always wanted to be. Strong, confident, unstoppable. I laughed softly, leaning slightly against him. I used to think being strong meant hiding pain. Now I know it means facing it, and still choosing myself. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves. You're radiant, Noah said, looking at me with awe. The world has no idea how unstoppable you are. I shook my head, laughing. Maybe they don't, but I do. And that's enough. Later we sat on a bench, watching the sun dip below the skyline. I never thought I'd get here, I admitted. I felt broken, betrayed, like I'd never recover. You recovered, Noah said simply. More than that, you've grown. And no one can take that away. I let out a long breath, feeling the weight lift from my shoulders. Cassandra's scheming, Adrian's selfishness, all of it had shaped me, but it no longer controlled me. I'm finally free, I said, voice soft but firm. I've healed. I've reclaimed my life. And I'm proud of the woman I've become. He turned to me, eyes gentle. And I'm lucky to witness it. I smiled, feeling warmth spread through me. The past had tried to break me, but it only made me stronger. I held Noah's hand a little tighter, feeling equal, secure, and alive. As darkness settled over the park, I realized, I am no longer the woman they tried to destroy. I am powerful. I am free. I am unforgettable. For the first time I understood I didn't just survive. I became someone I, and no one else, could ever forget.